Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, April the 5th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Was that your I am not a crook?
Hello, gentlemen and lady.
gentlemen and lady. Right.
Which one of us is the lady?
No, that's got to be one.
Did I miss an announcement?
No, I think of amongst our dozens of fans, one of them is probably a.
I hope so. I would hope so. But
I do too.
I doubt it.
Well, I know there's at least two women that watch the show.
That's the spirit.
I definitely know there's at least two women that watch the show.
I thought there was just three Italians from New Jersey who watched our show.
Well, that too. Well, two of them are. So no, it's Jess and one of your sisters, Harry. So there you go.
They don't watch consistently.
No, neither of them consistently.
Well, I don't believe the word consistently was brought up.
They might stumble. They might stumble into it accidentally every once in a while.
Right. So anyway. On that note, we're kicking it off the right way. So, stumbling onto this show is always what we strive for. We definitely like it. So, want to start at the show. I got a couple pictures I want to put up. I don't know if you saw these. I'll throw this up first. Right here. Those listening to the audio podcast, this is a picture of a woman standing outside the Louvre at a bus stop. And she looks pretty much just exactly like Mona Lisa. So I'm wondering if it's Mona Lisa actually, after all these years of hanging inside, want to go for a ride. So I thought it was just funny.
Maybe a little fresh air. Good for her.
Fresh air, get her out. Get out for a while. Stretch her legs. She's been cooped up in that frame for how many years? But
she's going to get on the 95.
She's going to, exactly, take it south. This was interesting, too. This is this was a rainfall predictions or totals. Look at the second town. I'm not exactly sure where Fartmouth is.
It's Fartmouth.
But Fartmouth, right. They have over 2 inches of rain. So,
that's, I think there's a good school there. Well, actually, it's not a good school. It's a terrible school.
Fartmouth?
Yeah. But, if you sort of mumble the beginning, you can fool people.
Right, exactly.
Right. Wasn't that a shitty band from like the late 90s, early 2000s, Fartmouth?
It may very well have been.
Almost any word.
Hey, now I'm a rock star.
Containing the word fart, a shitty band from the 90s.
Right.
I think that was their name, Fartmouth, right? Didn't the guy have a breakdown lately? He was the only one left in the band. He started berating 12 people who were at a county fair. What was that band?
Was
Smash Mouth.
Was that Smash Mouth? Because it sounds like
Fart Mouth. It's Smash Mouth, I think.
What was that other guy?
You're a rock star. Put your game.
Yeah, that was them.
That's Smash Mouth. Yeah.
Fart Mouth. Yeah.
So, all right, and then from Dayton, Ohio, WHIO TV put this up just before St. Patrick's Day a few weeks ago. They put this up. It was deputies and officers taking precautions with, DWI or DUI checkpoints on St. Patrick's Day weekend. But they posted it and they said, there's no excuse to not drink and drive.
Well, they wanted to maximize their the amount of revenues they raised. So.
I suppose so. Yeah. There's no excuse to not, because they're going to stop you anyway.
Is this just a missing punctuation thing, or
no? I think they put the word "not" in there, and they shouldn't have.
Yeah, there's no excuse to drink and drive.
There's no excuse to drink and drive.
Yeah, it could have been. There's no
good excuse.
Oh, boy,
but there's plenty of excuses.
Exactly. There's no excuse.
I was going to say they couldn't say there's no reason to not drink and drive.
No, that would mean the same thing.
In other words, if they wanted it to be not drink and drive, it couldn't be. There is no nothing. That just doesn't.
There's no reason to not drink and
that doesn't fit.
Or maybe they were saying it like there's no excuse. You can't use an excuse to not drink and drive. Or to drink and drive. No, it doesn't make sense either way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No matter how you do it, doesn't make any sense. So, there you go. All right.
What's that, Fartmouth?
Well, there you go. Back to Fartmouth. Exactly.
Where'd you go to school? Oh, I went to Dartmouth. How about you? Oh, I went to Dartmouth.
Fartmouth made it to the Elite Eight this year.
Yeah.
Fartmouth did make the Elite Eight.
San Diego Metro.
Yeah, the Collegiate
State.
Foursquare League. They're
community.
Exactly. Anyway, all right. Why don't we kick it off with our this week's just a quickie. It's an NBA just a quickie today. This week.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go. All right, we're going to start with Harry.
Okay.
Harry, will the New York Knicks win a playoff series this year?
Well, depends if they're healthy or not, which might not be the case. No,
they will not win a playoff series this year. All right. Pete, same question.
Yeah, I think they will.
All right. And I do as well. The New York Knicks will win. So I'm a yes. Pete's a yes. Harry is a firm no. They will not win a playoff series this year. So there you go. All right. How much quicker can we get there? That's the definition of just a quickie right there.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
All right, I know. All right. Should we step right into this week's quiz? Not the rapid fire
Absolutely.
quiz. We haven't done a quiz in a few shows, so let's do it. This week's quiz, baseball started last week, so we're moving into baseball quizzes. Baseball quizzes.
Oh boy.
So this one is top New York Yankees starting pitchers of all time. Top New York Yankees starting pitchers of all time. We're not doing decades or anything like that. Just going to give you 6 names. 4 got to stay, 2 got to go. You know the drill. Write these down. Here we go. Ready? Whitey Ford.
Definitely on the bubble.
That's racist.
Definitely on the bubble.
All right. Got it. Andy Petite.
Yeah.
Andy Petite.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty good. Next.
Andy Pettit. Ronald Guidry.
Louisiana Lightning.
Ron Guidry. Rocket. Roger Clemens.
Why would you bring that name
up? Well, I had to give one to have a little controversy and help you decide a little bit there. So. CC Sabathia. And David Cone.
Tony.
Now, we may do later on in the season, we may do another Yankees top starting pitchers with 6 different names on it, but these are the 6 for tonight. So Whitey Ford, Andy Pettit, Ron Guidry, Roger Clemens, CC Sabathia, and David Cone. Harry, you are the resident Yankee fan. You go first.
Well, Whitey Ford, Ron Guidry, they're up there. There's no question there. I'm going to put Clemens in there too. One of the best pitchers of all time. I think the question is really so now we got Pettit, Sabathia, and Cone.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put Andy Pettit on there, but I don't know. I think Pettit's ahead of Cone, and I think Sabathia is ahead of Cone. The question is CC Sabathia ahead of Andy Pettit?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say no. So I'm going to go. The 2 that are not making it are CC Sabathia and David Cone.
There you go. So you're going Whitey.
Just as for the time that they pitched for the Yankees. Yes.
Of course.
Yep.
Well, that's what we're talking about. So I was talking about. So you're going with Whitey Ford, Andy Pettitte, Ron Guidry, and Roger Clemens. Pete,
Correct.
your picks.
Yeah, well, obviously, Roger Clemens had an amazing career with the Yankees, but he was a cheating steroid-using douche, so he's
So was
out.
Andy Pettitte.
No, Andy Pettitte just used growth hormone to heal. What? That's what he said.
That's what Roger Clemens said, actually.
Yeah, Whitey was pretty good. Gator, sure.
Whitey was pretty good.
Right? Yeah, it was all right. I'll throw him there.
CC, I guess I like CC Sabathia. Pettitte was really good in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't David Cohn pitch a perfect game?
He did.
Yeah, fuck that traitor. He's out. Clemens and Cohn, bye-bye.
There you go. All right, so you're going Whitey Ford, Andy Pettitte, Ron Guidry, and CC Sabathia.
Yeah.
There you go. So
four.
David Cohn getting no love from either of you for his perfect game.
Sorry, Coney, but no.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Do you know who had the highest win above replacement of any Yankee pitcher in the history? Well, I mean, of course they didn't. Yeah, no, this is Andy Pettitte.
Andy Pettitte.
Really?
Yeah. Andy Pettitte's WAR was highest too. There you go. All right. Well, there you go. That's this week's quiz. All right. Moving right along. We are cruising. Jump into Major League Baseball question of the week. It's a new segment. Question of the week. So it's not another just a quickie. It's
we have to elaborate on it for a long time.
Of course. Well, it's a new segment, so
okay.
We got to put that in there. So it's the Major League Baseball question of the week. So there we go. MLB question of the week. Here we go. All right, start off with that. Who will be the biggest runaway maniac star in 2023? Pete, we'll start with you.
What sport?
It's the Major League Baseball question of the week.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about soccer, of course.
Who's going to be the big runaway star out of all of baseball?
Who's going to be the big runaway maniac star in 2023?
Well, Gary Sanchez already ran out of baseball.
So. Who's the kid from the Mariners? Rodriguez?
Yeah. Who's that?
I forget his first name. Whatever the first letter of his name is, and then Rod.
And Rod. Let's see what it is. Mariners. Rod. Oh, Julio. I thought it was Julio Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez. J-Rod.
J-Rod. Okay. Harry. You?
Oh, I mean, look. I think it started with the World Baseball Champions. I think Ohtani's going to take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to hear the end of it because people just love talking about him. So even if somebody else does have a better year, I think it's going to be. Here's two other people that I think I would put up there, though. I'm really high on Trey Turner continuing to just get better and better, and I think Manny Machado. So
fair enough.
But if I had to pick, Ohtani's already. He's already starting here.
Well, so I mean, it could be. It doesn't matter. You could be the big runaway maniac star every year, right? So I mean,
I think either Trey Turner or Manny Machado are going to have years that are going to. I think they're both going to have the best years of their career this year.
So, but you're picking Ohtani.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. I agree with all of that, actually. And I think Julio Rodriguez is going to have an awesome year, but I think Ohtani's just going to light it up numbers-wise, pitching, hitting, everything. And I really think that I think that'll happen this year. And then, And then he trades in the California uniforms for some orange and blue. So,
and then breaks his leg in the World Baseball Championship next time.
There you go. Yeah, so. Bite your tongue. All right. So there you go. That's MLB question of the week. Here we go. All right, cool. Brings us to our Major League Baseball rapid fire quiz.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Also known as the massacre.
Also known as the
massacre.
massacre.
I'm not feeling so good about that. I'm out of baseball mind. I'm not there.
Today's topic.
Well,
Harry's favorite baseball players.
Yes. No, today's topic, Pete, question number 1. What stadium do the Mets play in? Harry, what Yankees had the lowest ERA ever from 1933 to 1964 in descending order?
No. Your question would be, Harry, how many days plus or minus 2 did it take to build the stadium where the Mets play?
And what was the level of what kind of concrete was used in the upper stands?
Exactly.
How much of the concrete used was polyurethane based?
All right.
It's absolutely
All right,
zero.
The questions those were all the questions. I don't know how you didn't know them. So anyway, all right, let's get this going. Here we go. All right, this week's MLB rapid fire quiz. The first MLB rapid fire quiz of the season. Last quiz was 2 weeks ago. Just to recap, Harry won 4-1. All right. And that was after 2 weeks before he won 3-2. So
it's getting closer. Pete's going to win this week. I feel it.
All right. We'll see it. All right. So
there'll be lots of questions about the Mets.
There you go. Let's kick it off. Pete, we're going to start with you. Question number 1. Ready?
Ready.
Here we go. All right, Pete. What team has the best opening day winning percentage?
We're talking baseball?
It's the MLB history rapid fire quiz. So, yes. What team has the best opening day winning percentage?
I'll say the Mets.
You would be right.
Yay.
You would be right. You got it. There you go. They have a 40-21 record overall in their history, which is a 656 winning percentage. The next one down is like right around 600. But since 1970, because they lost their first 8 opening day games from 62 to 69. So since 1970, they're 40-13 in opening day games. So there you go. All right.
Yeah, and that's a big indicator for championships too.
And Justin Verlander on the hill, or is it Scherzer?
It was Scherzer. So
yeah,
there you go. So there you go. All right, here we go. All right, Pete. Question number 2. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. Who was the first pitcher to pitch a ball over 100 miles per hour?
I don't know. I'll say Chapman.
Aroldis Chapman?
Yeah.
That would be wrong. Harry?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Nolan Ryan.
You would be correct. Nolan Ryan was the first pitcher to pitch a ball over 100 miles an hour. September 7, 1974, versus the White Sox, he pitched a ball clocked at 100.8 miles an hour. That was the first
6 fights in the game.
In the first inning.
Didn't get thrown out.
No, of course not. All right. Pete, back to you. Question number 3. Ready? Here we go. The record for the most consecutive home runs is 8. The record for the most consecutive home runs is 8. 3 players hit 8 home runs. Consecutive 8 consecutive home runs.
You mean 8 at bats with a home run?
Right. The record for most consecutive home runs. So boom, 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 boom. So 8 in a row. Like you didn't, no strikeouts, right. Walks, other hits, whatever. 8.
That's incredible. I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
8 in a row. 3 men hit them. 3 players hit them. Name one of them. Anyone.
I'll say Babe Ruth.
That would be wrong. Harry?
So each of these players hit 8 consecutive home runs?
There's 3 players that hit 8 consecutive home runs. Just name one of them.
Didn't Ken Jr. do it? Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. did do it. Yes, he did. Ken Griffey Jr. did it in 1993 for when he was with the Mariners. Hit 8 consecutive home runs. I'm going to throw a bone. Pete, I'll give you a point if you can name one of the other 2.
Eight consecutive home runs. All right. How about Bonds?
No, he did not. Yeah. All right. For no points, you want to take a shot? Anybody want to take a shot at the other 2?
I think one of them was a Yankee. Was it Winfield?
It was not Winfield, but it was a Yankee. I'll give it to Pete and let him try to get it. He's not going to get a point for it, but let him try to get it.
I don't know. Mantle?
It was not Mantle. Back to Harry.
I want to
just
say
gonna
it was.
start naming Yankees.
Well, I
I'll
think
stop
was,
it after a couple. So
I think it was around. I think it was in the 80s. Mattingly?
it's Don Mattingly. Did it in 1987 for the Yankees. And the first one, forget it, you're not going to get. 1956 for the Pirates was Dale Long. He was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, but Dale Long for the Pirates in 1956, Don Mattingly for the Yankees in 87, and Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners in 1993. All right. All right.
Dale Long, who hit 9 home runs that season.
Right. Yeah. Hit 8 in a row, and then one at the end of the year.
And then one more on the last day.
There you go. All right. Harry, question number 1. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who was the only player to hit 2 home runs on opening day in back-to-back seasons?
So 2, not in one game.
2 home runs in the same game on back-to-back seasons. So 2 home runs on opening day, twice, back-to-back seasons.
Oh.
Twice and in back-to-back seasons.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Bonds.
It was not Bonds. It was neither Bonds. So,
Oh, Barry Bonds.
It wasn't Barry or Bobby. It was not. No. Pete.
I don't know. Pujols?
It was not Pujols. Nope. Any other guesses for no points, or you want me to just tell you?
Sosa?
I'll give you the year and the team. See if you can get it. You're not getting points, but see if you can get it. This player was a member of the Braves, and they did it in 1965 and in 1966. April 12th, both years. April 12th, 65 and April 12th, 66.
Henry Aaron?
Was not.
No. On the 65 and 66 of the Braves.
Mm-hmm. Which is also odd because the back-to-back seasons, but 65, it was the Milwaukee Braves, and 66 it was the Atlanta Braves. But same team, just they moved. But same player, 2 home runs, opening day, back-to-back seasons.
I'm trying to think of players. The only other player I could think of that was around, Joe Torre.
It was Joe Torre. Joe Torre hit 2 home runs on opening day and back-to-back seasons for the Braves.
He was an all-star a couple times with them.
He was. All right, Harry. So nobody got that one. Harry, question two. Any? Who is the only major league player to hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning?
I do know this. Damn it. I can't think of it. Was it Lindor?
It was not Lindor. Pete?
2 grand slams in 1 inning, huh?
2 grand slams in the same inning.
I'll say. No idea. Jesse Barfield.
Jesse Barfield is correct. No, I'm kidding. No, that would be incorrect. It's Fernando Tatis. Fernando Tatis. He did it in senior, obviously, not junior. Did it on April 23rd, 1999, when he played for the Cardinals against Chan Ho Park was the pitcher. He same inning. Chan Ho Park gave up 2 grand slams in 1 inning. So there you go. All right. So nobody got that one. And Harry, question number 3. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. What team set the record for most consecutive wins to start a season? It has been matched. What team set the record for most consecutive wins to start a season? Nobody's beat it, but it's been matched. But what team set the record?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you what it was. It was 13 games. They won 13 games just in a row consecutively to start the season. That was the most ever. It's been done again, but it hasn't been beaten. What team set that?
How many? It's only happened twice.
2 or 3 times. I think it was twice. It might have been a third. I think it was only twice. But this team was the first team. Who was the first team to do it?
Yeah, it's probably not the first. I think the Braves did it more recently. I don't think they were the first, though. The Dodgers?
You're going with the Dodgers?
Yeah.
That would be incorrect. Pete?
What was the question?
What team set the record for most consecutive wins to start a season? That was 13. It's been matched. But what team set the record?
The team that did it first.
Yes.
All right. I think Harry was on to it. I think it was the Braves.
It was the Braves. Braves did it first, and then the Dodgers did it again afterwards. So you had it backwards, Harry.
Fuck.
So it was the Braves. It was in 1982. 1982. The Atlanta Braves started the season with 13 consecutive wins. Who was not a question, not a actually, you know what? We have a tie.
That can't be right.
We have a tie. Pete, you have 2. Harry has 2, and 2 of them were missed. You got your first one and Harry's last one. Harry got your second and third rather, and Harry missed his first 2. Or nobody got the first 2 of Harry's.
I got my last one too. I just gave it to Pete.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
just backwards.
He had both teams. Just backwards.
He had both teams. You just had the wrong one.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Don't think out loud. Just say something. Because I'm just going to say, if you're wrong, I'm just going to pick the other thing you
All right.
say.
Well, here's my
Yes.
question: do you want a tiebreaker, or do you want to just end it in a tie?
I don't care. Give this one to Pete.
All
I
right.
think we need a tiebreaker.
I'll tell you what.
You have to give us each one, though.
No, I could just give one if you don't get it, and if one of you don't get it and the other one does, that's the tiebreaker, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
All right. All right. So I'll give it to Harry. Give it to Pete. If he doesn't get it, you'll answer it, vice versa, or
Yeah, I guess.
all right. So the underdog, Pete. Here's your question: who was the manager of the Atlanta Braves in 1982 when they won 13 consecutive games?
Oh, crap. Ugh.
Can I answer?
Guy?
Do you know it?
Me?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Pressure's on, Pete.
Honestly, I not that this would I mean, I'm just blanking right now. I don't know.
All right. Harry?
Joe Torre.
Joe Torre. Joe Torre was the manager of the Braves. He was he was unceremoniously let go from being the Mets manager for 5 seasons because he couldn't, get over the hump, and he couldn't win more than 60 games. And the first 13 games he manages the Braves, they win.
Now that was before and after Bobby Cox, right? Didn't Bobby Cox coach the Braves before and after Torre?
No, Bobby Cox coached them after. Who? Braves.
I thought Bobby Cox had a short run with them before he coached them for that long duration.
But it was Bobby Cox. You're right. Yeah, it was Bobby
Because
Cox.
he was around a long time, and then he came back.
Yeah,
Because he coached them what, like 86
He
or
coached
85?
them. He coached them 80, 78, 79, 80, 81. Joe Torre coached in 82, 83, 84.
And then 85 to like 98 or something like that. Was
No. Bobby Cox came back in 1990.
Oh,
Like
okay.
halfway through the season, and then coached until 2010. So
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. There you go.
And then Joe Torre went to the Yankees.
Joe Torre, left the Braves after the 85 season.
Actually, he went to the he was an
announcer from 85 to 90, and then he was and then he was the manager of the I don't know.
Cardinals?
I think it was who was it? Manager Cardinals. Yeah, it was the Cardinals.
Yeah.
No, that was just playing. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it was Cardinals. Cardinals from 90 to 95, then the Yankees and the Dodgers. So he managed the Mets, the Braves, the Cardinals, Yankees, and Dodgers.
I can't remember my password to my Apple ID, but I can remember
That.
this weird shit.
And Pete, I'll throw you one more bone. The Braves have played in 3 cities. They've called 3 cities home. What city have they played the most home games in? What city have they called home the most seasons? Let's put it that way.
Atlanta?
Nope. No. No, Atlanta's number 2. They were
Kansas
Boston.
City. Boston Braves.
They were the Boston Braves for 82 years. Then they were Milwaukee Braves for 13 and Atlanta for the last 57. So
82 years. What was the first year they were in Boston? Like 1873?
1871.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know baseball went back that far.
1871, the Boston Braves started.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Well, there you go. We had a tie. We did a tiebreaker. Pete came close, but he got it back up to 3-2. So there you go.
Pete's first question: which Major League Baseball team has a giant baseball as a mascot with a Mets hat on top of it?
with a Mets hat on top of it. Pete's first question: what color is a red fire truck?
No, it's just it's always the Jets or Mets is always the answer.
I seriously was waiting for you because Mets was the answer to the first one, and I didn't even give that to you because it was a Mets. I mean, that was just it's an opening day stat, right, from last week, and I just I was waiting for you to say another team and not say the Mets.
Yeah, well,
interestingly enough, when they won the World Series for the first time, they did not win on opening day.
They had not won on opening day at all ever when they won their first World Series. They were 0-8 on opening day games when they
did they win in '86 when they
won in '86. They won in '86, yeah.
So there's really no rhyme or reason. Yeah.
No, they're 40-13 since.
That's pretty damn good.
Since winning their first opening day game. Anyway, all right. That brings us to our top 5 of the week. Our top 5 this week is top 5 Major League Baseball free agent signings during this offseason. Top 5 Major League Baseball free agent signings during this offseason. All right. I have mine here. I also have Harry's here. Harry will read them himself. But I don't have Pete. So, Pete, you go first.
I'm going first?
You go first.
All right. We're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. He's on everybody's list, but I've got him a little bit lower. My number 5 is Aaron Judge. I know he's a great player, and of course, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if he's he's one of the best free agent signings, but I don't know if he's one of the top 4. Because I worry about his injuries, and they're paying an awful lot of money. And he did have a monster season. He's not going to have that good a season this year, although probably 80% of that is, 70% of that is still damn good.
Right.
But it's good. It's a good signing. I think the Yankees probably had to do it, or fans might have burned down the stadium.
It would have been good and bad, yeah.
And I could be completely wrong, but it's top 5, but it's not top 4 for me. Yeah. Number 4 is Xander Bogaerts in San Diego, just making that team better. Good offense, good defense, team leadership. I think he's only 30 years old, so in the prime of his career. Good signing by them. Listen, they just keep adding really good players until they get it right, but that's kind of what you have to do when you're facing teams like the Dodgers.
This is true.
Number 3 is Verlander for the Mets. They lost an ace, so they got an ace. Hopefully this one will be less injury prone than Jacob deGrom was. As long as they're healthy, best 1-2 punch in baseball. Number 2 is I don't know his first name, Rodon for the New York Yankees.
Okay. Carlos.
Thank you. I think this is a great signing for them. They're finally bringing in an ace, second ace, and maybe the best 1-2 punch in the American League between him and Garrett Cole. And then my number 1 signing, as far as I think the guy who's going to help the team the most, is Trey Turner. Going to solidify things with Philly and, give them a little bit of a veteran leadership. The guy's very consistent. I think he hit 25 home runs last year and 270 something and stole 26 or 28 bases or something like that. So he does a little bit of everything, plays good defense, and again, a little bit of a veteran presence, and helps help solidify that infield a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to have the most impact on making the Phillies a better team.
There you
Those
go.
are my top 5.
All right. Those are Pete's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 recap. Aaron Judge, Xander Bogaerts, Justin Verlander, Carlos Rodon, and Trey Turner. Harry, give us your 5+.
I got a tie for number 5. I have Carlos Rodon at number 5 for exactly what Pete said. I think I wanted the Yankees to get him last year. Obviously, starting the season out on injured reserve, which is a little bit of his MO, which is why I also have him a little bit lower. But the hope is there. The hope is there. We've got the pitching to maybe compete with the Astros. We shall see what this lineup does throughout the year. I got Jacob deGrom as number 5 because I think this gives Texas a legitimate ace, which they haven't had, I don't think, in a long time. And look, you got to hope the guy's healthy. When he's healthy, he's the best pitcher in baseball. And this could change things for a Texas team that has not really been there in a long time. Number 4, I got the Mets. Okay, because I think that the
Mets at number 4.
Yeah. Well, hear me out. I think the combination of Verlander, Diaz. Now Diaz, of course, has an asterisk next to it, and Nimmo re-signing Diaz and Nimmo and getting Verlander. I think that collectively is probably the best off seasons in signing. And the only reason why I'd own Verlander by himself, I worry a little bit about his durability at his age. I think the Mets with Verlander and Scherzer are great, but if one of them was 29 and the other one was 48, I would be okay. But they're both
they could be a little fragile. Yeah,
they could be a little fragile. And but look, if they both are healthy in September and October, that's the best 1-2 playoff punch you could ever ask for.
Sure.
I got Xander Bogaerts. I think this San Diego is just not only are they spending the money and investing, they've created a culture there where guys want to come play, and they're treating them well. And I think that's going to bode well for them this year. I got Trey Turner at number 2. And the only reason why I have him at number 2 is because the person at number 1, I think, means more. I think Trey Turner is joining another team. I think that he's going to become the best player on that team. That team was pretty damn good last year, especially after the managerial change. And the NL East is stacked. There's 3 really good teams in the NL East, which it's anybody's game. I think Trey Turner might be the best player in baseball. When you just talk about an overall player who can do everything, we need more Trey Turners in baseball. I think baseball would be better for it. And number 1, I got Aaron Judge. Here's why. Aaron Judge is the Nikola Jokic of baseball. Without Aaron Judge, the Yankees are nothing. And it's not really even what he does numbers-wise. It's just his presence in that lineup changes everything for this team. A healthy DJ LeMahieu, 2 years ago won the batting title. He can help, but the rest of that lineup is really dependent on Judge. He's the only consistent player when he's healthy, hitting wise. They need help in the lineup, and that's why I have Judge number 1. That it would have been devastating to that Yankees team and the morale of that team, and I think the future of that team had he not decided to come back and sign with the Yankees. If he decided to go to San Francisco, I think it would have put the Yankees where the Knicks are in the NBA. I think it would have weakened the Yankees, who have already dipped, I think, in the status of Major League Baseball teams. I think this was an important re-signing, and I'm happy he did. I don't think he's going to have a year like he did last year, but 80% is good enough, baby.
Yeah. You go, well, he's not going to hit 62 home. Well, yeah, but he might hit 50. That's still pretty damn good. So
and look, hopefully he has a chance to have more guys on base. Hopefully the guys behind him increase their hitting, and hopefully the Yankees as a collective decrease their strikeout ratio. Because if they do that, even just a little bit, it makes Judge even more dangerous. He might not hit as many home runs, but he might have more RBIs and hit for a higher percentage. You just never know. He's capable of doing that. And I think that would allow them to move him around in the lineup a little bit too.
Gotcha. All right. Well, there you go. That's yours. So the recap. Carlos Rodon is 5B and Jacob deGrom is 5A. Justin Verlander, Edwin Diaz, and Brandon Nimmo are all 4. Xander Bogaerts is 3, Trey Turner 2, Aaron Judge 1. All right, I'll give you mine. Number 5 is Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu went to the Astros from the White Sox. Signed a 3-year, $58.5 million contract. So he's got $19.5 million average annual value of the contract. He's 36, but I mean, he did wonders. I mean, he's a great player in Chicago for how many years? The last few seasons.
10?
I mean, for a while.
I think he's been with Chicago for 10 years.
Yeah. He's been with Chicago for 9 years. 9 years. This will be his 10th season in the bigs. But yeah, I mean, his career batting average is almost 300. He's 292. So I think this was a great grab for, damn Astros, right? Yeah.
And his game's changed. He's not hitting for as much power, but his average is up. And in a year when everybody's averages were down, his average was up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That would be. And before I continue, I'm just going to say, there were a few that I could have had on here, that I didn't. So my list is a little bit different than your two lists, because I didn't include, even though they were free agents, if they re-signed with the team that they were on, I didn't include them. This is new player on new team. That's what I want. So acquisitions, right? So number 4 for me, Wilson Contreras, on the Cardinals, from the Cubs. He's 30 years old, great catcher. Obviously, he's replacing a really good catcher for how many years on the Cards, right?
Cardinals have had some good catchers over the years.
They've had some really good catchers over the years, and this is another one. He signed a 5-year, $87.5 million contract, so he's got $17.5 million average annual value.
That's the pickup nobody was talking about.
Yeah. This is a great move from the Cards, with Molina retiring. They got their replacement like that. Boom, and put him right in. He's got experience. He's been on the Cubs for 7 seasons. I think that was a great move on their part.
I think a DH in the National League is going to help him extend his career.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Brings us to number 3. Number 3 is Justin Verlander. Obviously the Mets needed to replace DeGrom. They got him. He came off of coming off a World Series with Houston. They gave him a 2-year, $86.7 million contract. $43.35 million. So $43 million, $350,000 average annual value for the contract. But yeah, they need to replace DeGrom. And like you both said, not to belabor it, but yeah, if him and Scherzer both stay healthy, and they're healthy in September and October, and let's face it, in beginning of November too, it's definitely the best 1-2 punch in baseball, especially playoff baseball. My number 2, Xander Bogaerts, for everything that both of you said. He's definitely up there for my number 2. On the Padres, gone from Boston, 11 years, $280 million contract he signed, almost $25.5 million average annual value. And he's going to shore up a really, really, really good Padres lineup and infield. That's almost Aaron Judge numbers. Yeah, really good. Close. Yeah, and then my number 1 is Pete's number 1, and Harry's number 2 is Trey Turner. Trey Turner was such a great acquisition for the Phillies from the Dodgers. 11 years, signs an 11-year, $300 million contract, a little over $27.25 million average annual value. But he lit it up. He's been a great player for years. He was great for the Nats. He was great for the Dodgers. Now he's back in NL East. And back with his former teammate too, and Bryce Harper. But he's running circles around a lot of the other players in his position. I mean, he's as a Mets fan, I'm scared that the Phillies have Trey Turner, and I'm nervous that the Phillies have Trey Turner. So.
Well, the Dodgers weren't really able to hold on to to people.
Yeah, they a lot of them left. Yeah,
they lost Justin Turner. They've lost Trey Turner. They've lost Tina Turner.
Yeah, they don't like the guy's name Turner.
Ike's been out of
Turner's
years.
even thinking about leaving.
Ted Turner is going to leave too. Yeah, exactly. So, Turner and Hooch are still there, though.
They're still there. Yeah, well,
they're still there.
They play third base together.
Exactly.
Cover a lot of ground.
They did. So anyway, recap mine. Jose
Hooch is 65 years old.
And in dog years and in human years.
Actually, don't tell anyone, but that's Hooch 4.
That's Hooch 4.
That's Hooch 4.
That's Hoochie Mama.
Hoochie Mama, right. So recap mine: Jose Abreu, Wilson Contreras, Justin Verlander, Xander Bogaerts, and Trey Turner. All right. Cool. Good list. And rumor has it that we have an old balls tonight.
Well, not that old, but
there you go. And who would tonight's old balls be there, Harry?
Someone which I wish the Yankees would have re-signed, someone which I wish would have stayed healthy last year, someone who I think was on their way to being one of the comeback players of the year, Mr. Matt Carpenter. Again, going out west, gonna probably platoon a little bit, but man, he was on fire last year before he got hurt. I think it was a mistake to try to play him in the playoffs. He looked horrible in the playoffs, but I'm a big Matt Carpenter guy, and it's nice to see somebody sticking around and still doing it. So not that old, but old enough. This
not that old.
Recipient of the old balls, Mr. Matt Carpenter.
Old balls. There you go. Right. Good job. We haven't had old balls in a while, and that was a quickie old balls too. But there you go.
Well, someday he might be. We might go through his. He's still playing.
He's still playing. He's still building his stats. We'll talk about it one day else.
But he was a good off-season acquisition.
This is true. All right. All right. We have a non-sports just a quickie.
Ooh.
Non-sports just a quickie. Here we go. Pete, you're gonna get this first. Ready? What is your favorite food or snack to eat at a baseball game? You could be specific if you want, like something you get specifically at a Mets game or Ducks game or Yankee game, whatever. Yeah, because I know you go to Yankee Stadium all the time. So.
I think it's the bourbon truffle mac and cheese chicken breast hammock that you can get at Citi Field. It's got to be.
I like the Fruit Loop and Porterhouse kiddie pool that you can sit in.
The Porterhouse sliders on Fruit Loop bread.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
It's a small kiddie pool you can buy. It's filled with nachos, Fruit Loops, and a Porterhouse steak. Comes with 3 chimpanzees.
The one who finds the steak wins and gets to eat it.
And 4 Hooters girls, and you just go to town.
There you go.
When you're done, somebody comes with a fire hose and fills it up with Jell-O.
There you go. I love it. It's on sale this week for $14.95. So
that's right.
And that's including the Porterhouse.
It's only at Pittsburgh.
Right. Exactly.
I am old-fashioned. It's the ice cream. The old ice cream, whether it's a helmet or a cone or whatever, that is the best thing to have at a baseball game. I can take or leave. I mean, the fancier food is very nice, but give me a hot dog and a pretzel and then some ice cream, and I'm good.
There you go. All right, fine. Harry, yours?
I'm going to go pretzel.
Pretzel.
Yeah. Pretzel's my go-to.
Pretzel, big, soft, hot pretzel kind of thing.
Yeah.
Going on?
Yeah.
Now, do you put the mustard or anything on it?
Mustard. Always mustard.
Of course. Got to put mustard in it. Yeah. Salt or no salt?
A little bit of salt. I like a little salt. Not too much.
A little salt, not too much.
If they oversalt it, then you got to do the old
You got to brush it off, yeah.
Got to brush it off.
All right. All right. I'm going to give
none of these fancy butter dipped jalapeno and just a pretzel. Just a pretzel.
All right. Fair enough. I'll just throw it out there. I'll give you both. my favorite food, my favorite snack. My favorite snack by far when I walk in the stadium, when I go to Citi Field to see a Mets game, or anywhere really, but especially Citi Field. Before I even sit down in my seat the first time, I bought a bag of peanuts. Right, I got a bag of peanuts. Boom, open up.
You're that guy.
Open up, cracking them open, eating them. Boom, throw on the shells. Boom, there you go. Right, and my favorite food to eat though, sausage and pepper sandwich. Get a nice sausage and pepper sandwich. At the maybe around the fourth, fifth inning. And go up and get my nice big sausage and pepper sandwich. So that's mine. There you go. Yeah.
And how annoyed is Jess for sitting next to you after a bag of peanuts and a sausage and pepper sandwich and 4 beers?
She's eating and drinking all of that right along with me.
Oh, okay. Who's louder in the 7th inning stretch?
That would be me. That would be me. Singing that, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and "Lazy Mary" too at Citi Field.
Right.
Lazy
playing
Mary.
the trumpet.
Let me add in a little addendum here. What was the most disappointing thing that you've ever had at a ball game?
Most disappointing thing?
Food item.
Food
item. Like, what did you get that you were like, "Oh, I think I'll try that," and it just wasn't any good?
Huh. I don't know. I got to say, I actually probably going back about 12 years ago, maybe a little bit more. One of the first couple of years of Citi Field, they had a lobster roll stand, right? But I wasn't going for it, right? we were about six or eight of us went to the game, right?
You're pretty bougie. Sausage and peppers.
No. Well, no, sausage and peppers is my thing. Sausage and peppers.
The lobster.
Take a caprese sandwich.
That's like a Seinfeld episode. That's
Hold on,
time out.
I'm out. Sausage and peppers, I get.
Did you eat it with a knife and fork?
Oh no, I picked it.
Gets it all over.
I'm going lobster, baby.
No. Sausage and peppers I've been getting. Sausage and pepper sandwich I've been getting for years.
Especially to get a funnel cake lobster roll
and go up to Wisconsin or Minnesota too to go see a Brewers game or a Twins game. I'm all about getting the bratwurst up there too. So sausage in some form or another, right?
Did you get the funnel cake lobsterwurst?
Right.
Lobsterwurst.
No, get the at Pittsburgh at Pirates games to get the Primanti sausage sandwich. So
how about the funnel cake shrimp scampi?
No. Let me tell you. You asked the question. Let me answer the damn thing.
I want to hear the lobster roll stand.
I don't eat that crap at ball games. I don't eat that. I don't go for it. I don't want to. They had just opened it up that year. There was like 6 of us that went. It was like 3 couples went, and the one guy's wife wanted a lobster roll. She says, "Oh, they opened up." She read it like that. They opened it up that year. She wanted a lobster roll. So, all right, everybody was talking. I wanted to get a sausage and peppers as usual. No, we got to go get. We're all going to get lobster rolls. Okay, we all go get a lobster roll. Whatever. First of all, it was $3,000.
I was going to say, what is this? A $50 lobster roll sandwich?
All right. And
do you want to pay that cash credit, or would you like to refinance your house?
Right. There was like 5 cubes of lobster on this lobster roll. Now, you get a lobster roll, you expect a lot of lobster. It's all on it, right? It's a hot dog bun with lobster.
You didn't get to pick out your own lobster?
No, I'm just saying. And it was okay. It was nothing wrong with it by any means, but it wasn't what a lobster roll should be, and it was way too overpriced. And that place only lasted a couple of seasons. They were gone anyway,
what was this, Long John Silver's?
So right. So that's my most disappointing meal to eat that I ate at a ball game. So, one, I didn't even want it in the first place, right? So there you go.
I think if I saw Long John Silver's at a ballpark, I would have to run to the bathroom without even eating anything.
Right.
I might have to grab a clam wish. Just
a clam witch.
A clam
wish.
Clam wish.
Wish. Yeah. I want to wish on a clam.
I don't even know if that's a thing. I just remember it from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Clam wish. Yeah.
Please report back on this on the funnel cake shrimp scampi.
All right, Harry, what was yours?
Yeah, Harry, what was yours?
I don't know. What were those things? I remember going once with my friend and his kids, and they loved those dipping dot things.
Right.
Oh, God, those are horrible. Yeah, they're horrible.
They are horrible. They're ridiculous.
That was disappointing. I didn't tell them that because they loved those things and they were fueled by them.
Yeah,
But
they think you're not going to notice it's bad because it's just a little bit of it, but
it's pretty fucking horble.
yeah, they're
they're
just
not good.
my
The
kids like
future of ice cream, I think, is their company slogan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not so much.
Now, having said that, we would welcome Dipping Dots as a sponsor on this podcast anytime you so choose.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Please prove us
Absolutely.
wrong.
Definitely.
Just don't send us any samples.
Not at all. No, we're good. We're good.
Not unless it's not
Send
unless
us
it's,
shirts and hats.
not unless
We'll
it's a
wear 'em.
halibut fish dipping dot.
Well, if they've got a sausage and pepper dipping dots.
That's right.
I'm good with that. I'll have that
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah,
Dots,
they got
dots to eat and taste like sausage and peppers. That would
yeah,
make a
I go to the game, I get shrimp traviolo. By the first 5 minutes, I'm there, and then I.
She wanted to have a lobster roll. I said, "What are you crazy? You got the shrimp fra diavolo."
Like, come on, what are you talking about?
You bougie bitch. Have a lobster roll. What kind of baseball fan are you?
we all played nice, so we did what
There's
we
got to
did.
be lobster rolls at Fenway now, right?
I'm sure. Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll actually be at the Red Sox Yankees game in the middle of June. So if there is one, I'll get one and I'll sing a picture.
Nothing like just a nice lobster roll in 90 degrees. It's running down your arm.
At least it's June and not July or August. So got that.
Yeah,
so there's that.
Yeah.
Right? Pete, what was yours? You got one?
Gives new meaning to the word green monster.
All right.
Well, mine is kind of weird because I'm kind of guessing maybe it just was never. It's one of those things which maybe was never that good, but when it's a kid, you think it's good and you have fond memories, and then you don't have it for a long time, and then as an adult you have it and you go, eh. And it might seem strange, but I had Cracker Jack at the baseball game. Now, part of it was a tiny little box. I was expecting a Cracker Jack box, but it was like 2/3 the size of that, and of course 4 times the price of what a regular Cracker Jack box was. And I hadn't had it in forever, and I opened it up and I ate it, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, all right." And the price sucked too, so there was nothing.
Yeah,
it certainly wasn't like when I was a kid. When it was like Cracker Jack, that was a treat, and then you get a
the
little tattoo or whatever, or a
right.
whistle or something.
That's right.
It's just kind of like, eh. So again, I don't know if it was never really that good, but when you're a kid, you don't know any better. Or
I always liked it as a kid.
Did they
right.
change it? I seem to remember it tasted so much better. So I don't know.
I feel like it all depends on how many peanuts you get in the Cracker Jack.
That's true.
The peanut changes everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they took out the peanuts.
I do like peanuts. I mean, and one of the great
I don't like all the
bargains if you go to the supermarket, just get a bag of get the big bag of roasted, unsalted peanuts. And I mean, I sat last night literally for probably half an hour, 30 minutes or 35, 40 minutes. I was watching something on TV and just cracking shells and making my little pile of peanuts, because I don't like to eat them one at a time. I like 2 or 3 at a time. And then, of course, my son comes by and grabs a handful.
Of course.
About 20 minutes in, he grabs about 80% of what I've just shelled and shoves it in his mouth and laughs. Because he's my child.
He can. Now, what are you going to do?
I mean, that is a good bargain.
I sat there for another 25 minutes and cracked more until I had a nice, respectable pile.
That's an economical snack. It's a lot less money than the calamari cheesecake.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's the first thing I go for. I sit there and I start cracking peanuts, take a sip of my beer, and I start keeping score. I keep score at every game I'm at.
I think peanuts with an edible shell would be one of the greatest inventions ever. They need to genetically get on that,
figure that out, right?
Thing, like a soft shell crab kind of thing. You can take it out of the shell if you want, or you can eat it.
Right. Well, here's my thing too. I got you, and I do. When I'm eating roasted peanuts like that, I'll crack them open, eat them, crack it open, eat it.
At the ball game, you do that.
At the ball game,
you don't have a place to put a pile.
Of course. But the thing that's worse than those, because they're easy to open, right? Pistachios.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hard to open to begin with, and you get one tiny little nut, and then you go to the next one,
Guys, I want to let you in on a little secret. You can buy both of them shelled.
I know.
Yeah. Well, the peanuts are inexpensive. Shelled pistachios are
ridiculous. Super stupid,
yeah. But I'll tell you what, the other funny thing about peanuts is you always find, like, the fucked up ones. Like I found one, it was like this long and it had 5 peanuts. They were all small, but it had 5 separate peanuts in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one that had like one really gigantic one, and then a tiny,
I like that
dark one that
I always
you never
like
eat,
that. I always like the big one with their little buddy. I always like that.
Right.
That's what.
That's a good one.
There's
my
all
favorite
sorts
peanut.
of like little, radiation mutations there, and I'm like, oh, what? Look at that one. And so that's always fun about peanuts.
You take the one that has 5 in it, you put it up on a shelf. It's like a prize,
Well, then you get the one where the one already ran away. It's like supposed to be 2 in there.
Yeah, there's a hole in the shell, but there's no peanut in there. You're like, what the?
I've opened up a shell that was closed. Maybe it had a little bit of a slit in the top, but it was closed. And you open it up, and there's nothing in it.
Nothing in it. Yeah.
Where did it go? Did they open it up and then glue it back together? What the hell's that? So, anyway, all right, that works for me. All right, we have an over under.
Harry.
No
over under tonight.
No, I don't have a good. I don't have a good one.
We're going over, so there's no over under.
No over. No over under.
No over under tonight. All right, cool. All right. Well, do we have anything else?
I got a couple of weird things, of course.
Go
Harry
for it.
looks like he has something.
All right.
Just one Wicklow thing. I'll do it after you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'll just ask this now because it's really just kind of doesn't take a lot of discussion. But are we ready to decide whether it was Tom Brady or whether it was Bill Belichick? Because they haven't been together for a couple of seasons, and Tom Brady's won a Super Bowl and retired twice. And Belichick, New England hasn't been so good since Tom left. So is it Tom or is it Bill? Are we ready to choose a side and say, obviously, it seems like it's Tom because he's had success.
I'll tell you, it's
both.
It's both. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl because he's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's the GOAT, whatever you want to say. He's a great quarterback. He won a Super Bowl because he went to a ready-made team to win a Super Bowl. Okay? I mean, for all intents and purposes, they pieced together that team with the people that they had and the players they brought in. And, of course, they brought Gronk down there, too. All right? And had a team. And let's face it, was in the right division to win, so all
the cards were right.
The cards were right for him. Now, I'm not saying they could have did it with anybody. No, Tom Brady was a big part of it, but there was a lot around him for that purpose. He didn't get as far, obviously, 2 years ago, and then last year, he obviously, didn't was almost a losing season for most of the time, right? Bill Belichick has,
but his personal performance in those 3 years are probably the three of his top 5 years as a quarterback.
3 of his better years, right?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, except for some stupid moves he made last year, coaching wise on his coaching staff, and that, with the players he had to work with. Let's face it, his first year without Brady, he had Cam Newton. Cam Newton was done, and he was hurt for half of the season. And then he gets Mac Jones, does decently his rookie year, and regresses in his sophomore year. So it's both. It really is.
There's always going to be coaches.
You can be a 60-40 if you want to look at it like that, but it wasn't one and not the other. It was both of them. We can't hear you, Pete.
Down the middle, right? It has to be more one guy than the other.
It's more Brady.
It's more Brady.
Bill Belichick won. Bill Belichick won 2 Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator with the Giants, and he was a big part of that, of both of them, especially that second one. Now, I think that Belichick was a great head coach. I think Brady won those Super Bowls with New England with not a ton of talent. Yes, he had 1 year of Randy Moss at the end of his career, and Gronk was great, but there was a lot of times he had to play without Gronk because Gronk was hurt.
And he lost that Super Bowl.
And he lost. You're right.
Although Giants beat him.
And Gronk almost caught the Hail Mary.
No, I mean with the also not even Gronk.
With Moss.
Moss.
Yeah. Got it. Brady has intangibles that very few people will ever have in this game. He just does. And I think Belichick is one of those should and will go down, I think, as if not the top, within the top 2 or 3 head coaches of all time. But I think you're starting to see with Bill Belichick some of the things you're seeing with Greg Popovich or other coaches who lose those players that just have that intangible way of winning. When you don't have that talent around you, then and Belichick's had a lot of say in who he's able to bring in and so I put a lot of their inability to have great success these last couple of years on Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
But so I would go 65-35 Brady. But I think I would if I had to vote today, I would say they're both the best at their respective positions in the history of the NFL.
The NFL stars aligned perfectly to put the two of them together when they put the two of them together.
Right.
At the beginning of their careers
was,
in New England. And
it was neither all of one or all of the other, but I agree with you guys. I think it was a little bit more Brady. And I think if you're going to look at it in that context, now look, Brady could have ended up on crappy teams with lousy coaches if he never went to New England, and maybe he had, a much less successful career, obviously, but I still think he would have had more success without Bill Belichick than Bill Belichick would have had.
Yeah, I agree.
He could have stayed in baseball and played for the Expos and never played football.
And we don't know because it's not like Phil Jackson with Kobe and Shaq or Michael and the Bulls. Phil went there and turned superstars into champions. They weren't able to get over it without him. So people always slight Phil Jackson because of the talent he had around him. But in both those cases, the talent was not able to win without him. We don't have that comparison with Belichick and Brady.
No.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So that's one. So how about that SoFi Stadium? Yeah. You know how much we love soccer here on this show and in this country. Well, the World Cup is coming here in 2026. I don't know if you guys knew that. You probably did.
Yeah.
11 U.S. cities, 2 in Canada, 3 in Mexico. The final maybe at, what's it called in New Jersey now? Not Giant Stadium. MetLife. There we go. They might be hosting the final, so that would be very exciting. Not so much for you, Harry, because you're probably not going to travel all the way here to see it. But John and I might go try and hop the fence and
check it out.
Anyway, so there's a little stadium in Los Angeles called SoFi.
Small, little place.
Well,
intimate.
In terms of soccer, it is, because it turns out that they didn't build it big enough to host soccer, and it's one of the cities that's supposed to host games for the World Cup. It's not wide enough on the field of play. It's 62 or 63 feet too narrow for the international rules governing the World Cup.
Interesting.
Yeah, they built it a little small.
They built a multi-billion-dollar stadium.
Yes.
Too small.
One of the crown.
I mean, let's face it. They built a football stadium, right? They didn't build it with the thinking that they're going to get a soccer match there in 8
That's
seasons
true.
Or whatever. But
when was the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta built?
10 years ago.
10 years ago. About 10 years ago.
Well, that one's big enough. How about Energy in Houston?
Right.
Before that,
here are the
Arrowhead in Kansas City.
Right.
That's big enough.
Toronto, Gillette in Foxborough.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have Kansas City, the new Arrowhead Stadium.
Lumen Field in Seattle.
Miami, Hard Rock in Miami. Houston, you already mentioned.
All these places are big enough.
I didn't know the 49ers' new stadium was called Levi's Stadium.
Levi's Stadium. Yeah, it's in Santa Clara. It's not even in south of San Francisco. Yeah.
But SoFi,
and then Lincoln Financial in Philly is also going to have.
All big enough for FIFA and the World
and Dallas as well.
AT&T.
They're all big
enough. I don't know. They're talking about maybe making the field wider, but they'd have to take out something like 20 or 30 rows of seats. It's just a mess. And, I don't know. Somebody's got to get in trouble for that. So leave it to the good folks in Los Angeles, whoever built that thing or designed it, to screw it up and make it.
Well, maybe they never wanted it designed for soccer. Who knows?
Well, that's what I said. I mean, it's
Well,
I mean, most stadiums are built big enough to
right
house
and
that. Right?
Los Angeles, if you're going to talk about soccer cities in the United States, Los Angeles is maybe the biggest. They love their soccer out there. You got 2 or 3 or 4 teams out there, so you would think that they would do that. They would build it big enough to.
Odd.
Yeah, kind of weird. So anyway, but we can head on over to MetLife or catch a game or 2 there.
That works.
Let's see. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, and this is kind of a local angle. I'm a big fan of or was a big fan of the Big East way back in the day. Syracuse being one of my
Louis Carnesecca.
Yeah, the Louis Carnesecca and John Thompson and Syracuse and Georgetown and all that. So there's a guy named Rick Pitino you might have heard of.
I think I might have heard of him.
Yeah. Well, he's taken over at St. John's in
Yes, he
Queens,
is.
which is one exit closer to me than Queens College, where my son goes. This could be very good for St. John's. Watch out for St. John's over the next couple of years. Now, the reason I say that is because, Pitino is a great coach, one of the all-time best, despite maybe his questionable behavior at times. But there's a lot of kids in New York who come out of New York, who live in New York, who grew up in New York, and they don't necessarily have anywhere to play, or there are better opportunities. And there were a couple teams, I think, that were in the Elite 8, Michigan State and Kansas State, 2 very good teams with very good starting point guards who both grew up and came out of New York. And so he may be able to get some of those New York players that go elsewhere because they want a shot at a national title, and there's really nowhere around. I mean, unless you want to, I don't know where you would go, Providence maybe. So he may be able to get some of those kids to stay in New York. So watch out for St. John's over the next few years. He might get some better talent in there, and hopefully we get to see them back in the NCAA tournament.
That'd be interesting. That'd be great. Yeah, I saw actually. I read a report a few weeks ago before St. John's hired him. That he had the day before I was watching something, actually saw him interviewed, Pitino, that is, and he had been on a phone call the night before with Lou Carnesecca. So I mean, the handwriting was on the wall at that point. Right?
Yeah. So it might be nice. I mean, my roommate in college was from Bayside, so he was at St. John's.
Roommate in college was Lou Carnesecca.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say my roommate in college is Lou Carnesecca.
That's Carnesecca's dad, actually. He was from Bayside, so he was a St. John's fan. So
that's right.
But
I agree. I think Pitino's going to be. He's going to change. He's going to change that a bit, and I think it's the right time. I think the Big East has kind of had a little bit of a resurgence.
A little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Could become something of a destination. All right, really quick because I know we're running late, but couple of obscure Olympic rules.
Oh boy!
Real quick, if you want to get in a fight and you're an Olympic hockey player, don't swing first. Instigators of fights in Olympic hockey get 5 minutes in the box. If you're the guy who swings second, you drop the gloves. After that, you only get 2 minutes. So if you're going to fight, make sure you don't throw the first punch, and you'll get the minor instead of the major. So
there you go.
Didn't know that. I don't know if that's true in the NHL as well. I don't think so, right? They usually just give them the same penalty.
Same penalty, right?
Yeah. Let's see. If you're a fencer and you leave the playing strip called the piste, I believe, you will be disqualified.
How about if you're a fencer who starts a fight in hockey?
Then you have to stay in the. So,
well, you're at a disadvantage though if you do that, because even if you win the fight and you stay on the ice, you have to use your sword as your stick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard
really
to get
hard
a
to hit the
slap
puck
shot
right?
down
Right.
with the foil. Yeah, it just
Right.
doesn't have the.
Is it
So,
called the sword?
No, it's a foil.
It's called a foil.
I was
A
just
foil, putting on the foil.
putting on the
Yeah.
foil.
So there you go. You have to stay
Draw
on
his foil.
the
Right.
playing strip there, or else you get
If you step off of it all, huh? Okay.
Yeah. In fact, sometimes one player will challenge a call, and I guess they'll go to a replay, and that can take a long time, and both guys have to just stand there waiting for them to make their decision. And apparently, a couple times where they've waited like half an hour, 45 minutes, standing there. You would think they'd kind of go over and fake fence for a while, but
Not so much.
I guess not. I think fencing might be the sport where they hate each other the most. I think there's no love lost in fencing. But
I think fencing is right. I think fencing is ripe for a Farrelly Brothers parody.
I don't think there's ever been a good
fencing movie. We need movie. Like an inner city kid who comes up rough and tumble, like the Happy Gilmore of fencing.
To France and takes on the 3-time world champion.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Olympic wrestlers have to carry a handkerchief somewhere in their uniform while they wrestle. Can you imagine what it's for? Not for blowing your nose.
Covering your junk?
No, they call it a blood rag.
So if they start bleeding, they have to cover it up.
Somebody bleeds on the mat.
Before you hold on. So a wrestler basically wears like a one-piece. Let's call it.
He wears a unitard. Yeah,
a unitard. So, and you have to somewhere in your unitard, you have to have a handkerchief.
Yeah, so they tuck it probably in the belly area or maybe in the leg or something like that. They stick a handkerchief in there, and so I'm thinking maybe we start a company of guys like they do at the basketball games. They come out and they wipe up the sweat with the.
I'm thinking somebody needs to sew a little pocket in the unitard, or just create bumper stickers. Is that your Is that your Olympic mandated handkerchief, or are you just happy to see me?
Is that your blood rag? You're just happy to see me.
Is that your blood rag in your pocket? Or are you happy to wrestle?
No.
I might have.
That was going to be that was going to be the name of Vision Quest before. It was going to be blood rag, but then
blood rag in your pocket. Right. Anyway, so there you go. Fencers have to stay on the pista. Wrestlers must carry a blood rag, and if you're going to fight in a hockey game, don't throw the first punch.
Don't throw the first punch. There you go.
Good to know.
Weird Olympic rules.
Good to know. I have a question for Pete, since you're a resident expert. What is your prediction for the first year that we will see pickleball in the Olympics?
Oh boy.
I give it 2 more Olympics.
I think, I don't know, when is the next Olympics?
So that would be 8 years.
Yeah, the next the Summer Olympics is next year.
Summer Olympics is next year. So I
think 2 more after that.
I think
so. Not 2028, 2032.
One more after that. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2028.
Well, are you talking about? Are you including winter? So like the Summer Olympics 2028, or are you talking about the Summer Olympics in 2032?
Well, it's the summer will be next year, and then 4 years after that.
Yeah, right. Summer's 24, 28. Yeah.
I think it'll be in the summer of 28, the Summer Games in 28.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be
Winter Games were last year, and again, and they're not. Yeah, the Winter Games were last year, and they're not again until the 26.
Let's hope so.
Wow.
There you go.
Can't have enough pickleball.
And from what I hear, Harry, Denver's exploding with pickleball. They're building new buildings, and
yeah. I saw people playing it on a tennis court the other day.
Right.
Now, is a pickleball court the same size as a tennis court?
Half the tennis court is a pickleball court.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can actually have one tennis court as 2 pickleball courts.
If you try hard enough.
Except you keep bumping into the guys behind you.
Pretty much.
All righty.
Cool. All right. We good?
I got one more thing real quick.
Go for it.
There's a documentary on Reggie Jackson called Reggie. I believe it's on Prime. It's very, very good. Worth watching. I think
they just called it Reggie.
They just called it Reggie. Yeah. It's great. I'm a big Reggie Jackson fan. I think it's interesting to really hear about his background and how he came up. And there's some good interviews in it as well. It glosses over a couple of the later years of his career, but worthwhile watching.
All right. Definitely good watch is what you're saying.
And I think there's a documentary
on
Yogi Berra coming out too soon.
That's called not Reggie.
Yogi.
That's cool.
I just saw a clip of Reggie. Maybe it's from that.
It's called
talking about Yogi, and they were at an old timers game, and they're standing out on the field, and they're showing the memoriam on the scoreboard. The players.
Yeah,
great.
Only Yogi could say this. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says Yogi keeps like elbowing him, in the back, and he's like, Yogi, we're on TV, they're gonna see, what are you doing? Stop doing that. And Yogi looks up at the scoreboard and he goes, boy, I hope I never see my name up there. So I don't know if that was from one of those documentaries or whatever, but I just saw it yesterday or the day before.
Yeah,
I forget. Reggie was.
I think it's a clip for the upcoming Yogi.
For the upcoming.
He might have been on like one of the morning talk shows doing, part of the promo tour or something. But
there you go.
He looked good.
Yeah.
It ain't over.
Till it's over.
It ain't over is the.
It ain't over.
I think the name is the Yogi Berra documentary.
It ain't over. There you go. It ain't over. There you go. Cool. There you go. Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
When you get to a fork in the road, take it.
You get to the fork in the road, take it. Gotta love them all. All right. On that note, we good?
I'm good.
We're good.
Show. Good show, right? We'll wrap it up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be ya.
Well, depends on who you are.